Hello and welcome to InVision Irving, your business connection. I'm Jolene DeVito. We're inside the offices of the Greater Irving-Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce and have some great stories to share with you, including a look at some winning ideas created by high school students as part of a contest to increase interest in technology. And one of Irving's Fortune 500 companies is involved in a contest of its own, and this one's all about the environment. Plus, the program that brought this new playground to Irving. Those stories are coming up. Let's start with State Highway 183. The long process of reconstruction is getting underway, and many people want to know more about what the new roadway will look like and how businesses will be affected. Thomas Gandy got some answers.
The food at Los Lupes Mexican restaurant is served hot and fast. But the traffic outside does not always move so smoothly.
It's a very dangerous road right now.
Business people along State Highway 183 gathered at Los Lupes to learn the latest on plans to expand the road.
Update them on timelines, property acquisition, right-of-way issues.
How is the construction going to affect our business?
I hope that everyone can benefit from it.
The meeting was packed. People heard from Irving City staff members working on the expansion project. They are eager
to let the business community know that the city is their partner in working with TxDOT and trying to make sure that their business needs are met.
This TxDOT animation shows that each direction of Highway 183 will have 4 free main lanes and 2 managed toll lanes. The service roads will be 2 to 3 lanes. Early stages of construction are already underway.
By the Plymouth Park subdivision, they're actually rebuilding the frontage road to its ultimate design.
Sound walls are also under construction. They will be installed in sections where neighborhoods border the highway and feature a Mustang theme. The goal is to get them finished first to help block any construction noise. But one of the big questions on the minds of people here is when they will see the reconstruction of the highway itself.
Well, right now it's just the sound walls. I can't tell you what's going to happen next.
The project had been stopped because there's just not enough money to build the road currently.
Recent action in Austin may make the timeline more clear in the near future. Legislation introduced by State Representative Linda Harper-Brown will allow bringing private money into the funding mix.
The public-private partnership that will take place now on 183, we're very hopeful will be an agreement that everyone will be pleased with. We don't know yet what that will be.
That is because TxDOT still has to choose a vendor, then contracts have to be drawn up to determine the specifics of the partnership. That is expected by 2015. While that may sound far down the road, the project does bring funding and action to an otherwise stalled project.
This will absolutely move this project forward.
It's positive for the city of Irving. It's going to help get this project on the ground quicker.
Our cameras have captured the demolitions of many buildings along 183. TxDOT has secured about 65% of the land it needs for the expanded highway.
I can understand it looks rather vacant out there, but when you bring the building down, if anything, it keeps a code enforcement issue from occurring. It keeps vagrancy from happening or graffiti or any other things which could be a blight on the actual roadway.
Many businesses, such as this Whataburger restaurant, successfully relocated to new locations along 183.
We want to keep all of the businesses on 183 somewhere in the city. All of them may not be able to go back right where they were on 183, but the Chamber is a resource to help them identify locations where they can relocate within the city.
Los Lupes Mexican restaurant used to be located on this land. The owner committed to staying in Irving.
We have a very good customer base here.
And now that it is open at its new location in Irving Mall, business is up.
It's increased by about 22%.
Owner Joe Michael Ramirez appreciates the city's help during the relocation process.
We have restaurants in Carrollton and Dallas and in Addison, and by far this has been probably the easiest to work with.
Now he is planning to move the company's headquarters to Irving and open a banquet hall here. But he and many others are ready to see action from the state. Action that will turn this outdated, overcrowded highway into one that will provide easy access to their businesses.
It's unusual that a city gets an opportunity to actually have a second shot at a major corridor in their city, and so we're excited about that, and we want to make it a benefit to all of our business customers and the city as a whole.
Irving's new mayor, Beth Van Duyne, got right to work after winning the election.
I cannot tell you how proud I am of this city, how proud I am of our small business, our enterprise businesses.
This mixer at the Hilton Garden Inn, DFW Airport South, was designed to introduce the new mayor to the business community. The Irving Chamber, along with the Irving Hispanic Chamber and the Greater Dallas Asian American Chamber, hosted the event. Representatives from all those groups say they're eager to work with the new mayor.
We look forward to enhancing our partnership with the city. As the mayor mentioned this evening, we do a great job of targeting four target markets around the country, national markets, to bring businesses into Irving.
First and foremost, we're extremely excited to have Mayor Van Duyne as part of the city of Irving. We're really looking forward to seeing the new development, the partnership that we're going to continue to build with the city.
We are the largest Asian American Chamber of Commerce in USA, so we would like to work together to make it happen.
Also at that event, the newly elected chair of the Greater Irving-Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce was introduced. Glory House catering owner Joanne Goin takes over this fall.
I'm looking forward to just a continued role in the chamber. It's such a great organization, and all of the exciting things that we have going on over this year and going into next year. Just participating in the leadership a little bit more and being more involved in a leadership role, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for me.
The chamber holds networking opportunities like this one throughout the year. While that event focused on the mayor, now let's hear from an Irving City Council person. Rose Cannaday represented the city and chamber on a trip to Australia and is here to tell us about it. Okay, let's just be tourists first of all. How was the flight? Long?
Long, but actually, you know, going down, since we have this direct flight now out of DFW Airport, going down you have a headwind, so you have to stop at Brisbane. Now we planned to stop there, we stayed over 3 days there, and then you go on into Sydney. But now coming back you have a good tailwind, so it's a straight 16 hours back.
Straight 16 hours, easy 16-hour flight, huh?
16 hours, yeah.
Tell us the purpose of the trip.
Actually, since this Qantas now, this is a brand new flight for our DFW airport, and they expect to have 4 or 5 flights eventually going back and forth to Australia. So this was put on by the DFW airport and Qantas Airlines. It was a mission for the service development for Qantas, but also for to develop economic development and the travel industry.
So what were some of your goals for the trip?
Our goals were down to identify and meet with various business people, corporations, businesses down there, as well as politicians. So we were very successful. We flew into Brisbane, which is, I love Brisbane. It was a town I think I would live in. The tempo is a little different. But we met with the governor of the Queensland. Also met with my counterpart on the Brisbane City Council. She was Mayor Pro Tem also. And, but the business people that came were involved in looking to do business in the United States, as well as some type of interchange. The Australian government has put $40 billion into a fund for new startup businesses. So the economy in Australia right now is booming.
How do you go about on a trip like that, representing Irving and making sure that you're going to benefit from this partnership as well?
When I was in with the various business people and travel agents and people like that, I was selling our city. I had brochures from the chamber and from our Convention Visitors Bureau, and so I was pushing it with these various businesses down there and the government, and also with their media. So I made some good media contacts also who publicize travel to the United States. And I don't know if I mentioned, there are 1.5 million Australians that come to America to vacation or do business, and they expect a 25% increase this year. So what I wanted to make sure is we, since Irving is a hotel city, that we needed to get some of those heads in our beds. That's money to us, and also to sell our city as a destination.
Would you say you were well received, and the city of Irving was well received?
Oh yes, they were very gracious. In fact, Australia reminds me of Texas, and they remind you of Texans. They have the same can-do spirit, very warm and friendly, and very gracious and courteous. And in fact, it was so nice because it's their winter time, and it was between 40 and 60 to 70 degrees every day, and I really didn't want to come back.
Tell us about some of the fun you had while you were there, some of the sights.
When we were in Brisbane, we did have some time off, and I went out to this Lone Pine Zoo. It's a natural zoo where you can walk around with the animals, And so I got to hold a koala bear, which they're really snuggly animals, and I found out that they sleep about 16 to 18 hours a day.
Not bad.
But it's because of the eucalyptus leaves they eat, because they nest in the eucalyptus trees. So that was quite interesting, and I fed the kangaroos. Now when I got to Sydney, those of us that were crazy enough, we climbed the bridge. That's the big bridge that you see in all the pictures of Australia. And it happened to be raining and it was cold, but they suit you up. It's a really process to prepare you to go do this climb. And I kept thinking I should have done more Stairmaster. I really should have done more. But they had you hooked to a line where you couldn't fall off.
Right.
I mean, you're going to be hooked. But it was really a thrill. It was exciting.
Experience.
Yeah, it was.
All right, while we have you here, let me ask you about Heritage Crossing. We're seeing the opening of the Burger King. What do you hope for next in the area?
You know, I went with a member of the chamber recently to, a few months ago, to Las Vegas for the ICSC convention. That's where all your major developers and retail people go. And what we were out there looking at is trying to attract more business, such as an H-E-B grocery store for South Irving. They were very interested. But we're also attracting more restaurants, more shopping, retail, and we feel once we get that infrastructure in, then you're going to have more people starting to look to that area to build homes and develop single-family homes down there. There's a lot of rental property, and we want to see permanent single-family homes. And I think another big help is this Northwood Hills School has bought the old Church of Christ down at Shady Grove and MacArthur to open a high school there. And they're looking now for another property to do a grade school. So we're going to have a private school down there as well as our public schools. So there's going to be a lot of things. If you have to say anything about Irving, the location.
Good to see you. Thank you very much, Rose
Thank
Cannaday.
you.
Thanks
Enjoyed
for being here.
Thank you.
You heard Rose talk about some of the plans for South Irving. Well, here's another. Residents and businesses are getting a new place to buy stamps and mail packages. Office Products Warehouse on Main Street received approval from the U.S. Postal Service to provide outbound mail options. Residents and business owners in the Heritage Crossing area had been telling city leaders they wanted a new place to handle their mailing needs after the Postal Service closed its station on Hastings Street in 2009. Earlier this year, Irving welcomed the headquarters of another Fortune 500 company to the city. Celanese Corporation is leasing 110,000 square feet of office space in the urban towers. Celanese is a global producer of chemical products. It joins ExxonMobil, Fluor, Commercial Metals, Flowserve, and Kimberly-Clark. We visited Kimberly-Clark to learn more about that company's role in a national contest. Valerie Mason has that story.
It's all calm at the headquarters for the Kimberly-Clark Corporation in Irving, but this building is in a battle, competing in the 2011 Energy Star National Building Competition.
This is the EPA's building competition that we entered into, and we're in the competition with 245 other buildings.
Robert Goodwin, Customer Relationship Manager with Kimberly-Clark, takes visitors on a tour showcasing the company's new energy reduction features.
It's exciting to get an electric bill. We're trying to achieve a Energy Star rating of 75. So each month we're calling looking for our utility bill to see how much money we saved and how far we've gotten towards our goal of 75.
It's all part of the Battle of the Buildings, a contest to see which building can reduce the most energy.
This is a great testament to being more efficient, Energy Star rating as we become more of a greener society. We're very happy to have Kimberly-Clark based right here in Irving as one of our 6 Fortune 500 companies that are globally headquartered here.
Kimberly-Clark had to fill out an application to be approved for the contest, where we provided data over the last 2.5 years of utility bills and information on the building size and occupants.
Each team monitors their building's monthly energy usage.
You have an account with Energy Star, and each month the data you get from your utility bills, you enter into the account and they keep track of it, and based on the size of your building and energy usage and occupants and square footage, they come up with data.
Kimberly-Clark has made a lot of changes throughout the 32-year-old building.
Some of the ways Kimberly-Clark is reducing their energy use is through natural lighting, using it wherever possible, as well as installing external awnings which keep the room warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
We have replaced a 32-year-old chiller with a new, more efficient chiller. We have installed ambient lighting in the parking garages and the parking lot. We've replaced cooling valves, condensers, pumps. We've put in a building automation system so we can track the energy usage and utilities.
Many of these techniques can be used in the home to reduce energy costs as well.
You can feel the difference immediately. A different type of lighting that's more efficient nowadays with LED lighting and CFL compact fluorescent bulbs can be used in your house as well as here to reduce electric costs.
From an enterprise value perspective, having a competition like this, we tend to be competitive. So, getting the building engaged and trying to find ways to reduce the energy consumption is great. And then on a personal note, we have a website that shows our employees how in their lives at home and as they're commuting and with their families, how they can reduce their environmental impact.
The City of Irving has many new projects built with green technology.
I know that with our facilities, our convention center is LEED certified. We have a new net zero library that's totally off the grid, and that's saving the city $85,000 a year. We are also put in place a lot of street lights on Irving Boulevard, and that's saving the city another $75,000 a year. And it's energy efficient, and it's a way where we can use the sun to light our streets.
It's a fun competition that helps businesses take steps towards saving energy.
We encourage commercial buildings to apply, to go through this extensive process. We help them in terms of being civically engaged on how to teach other building facility managers on how to go through a similar process. And of course, when they win, which we hope Kimberly Clark will, we'll certainly help them promote it.
The winner will be chosen from a list of finalists and announced in November.
I think it's sort of one of our core beliefs that, good business has to be good for the environment and for the communities in which we live. So we're really focusing on being a good community partner. And then long term, we believe that if you're going to be successful in business, you have to pay attention to how you're impacting the planet.
You can watch the battle unfold by logging on to www.energystar.gov and follow the progress of all the competitors. Valerie Mason for InVision Irving.
Now on to another contest. The Irving Chamber's Technology Leadership Council is working to get more young people interested in technology. Members want to make sure they're prepared for the workforce and make sure employers can find people to fill valuable jobs. Here's a look.
It's trying to convert gasoline cars into more hybrids.
I designed the iBot.
We're really looking for the next Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, but right here in Irving.
The Technology Leadership Council is made up of partner investors of the Irving-Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce who have an interest in growing the technology field in Irving.
We gather together and formulate strategies for how we will help the community and help students within the community.
We did some research and found out there were some technology innovation awards out there, but mostly for corporations, but we really wanted to inspire the youth of Irving.
What we decided to do was look within the school districts and conduct a contest for coming up with innovative ideas and technology. It could be either an idea or it could be like, for example, like a software.
Either a product or a service from a technology perspective that they can extend and possibly market out into the future.
This year's winners came up with really, really innovative ideas that I had never even thought of.
Well, we had two winners. One was with something called an iBot.
An eye that is a bionic eye, essentially it is, so that a person that may not have sight now can have sight in the future.
A lot of people in my family had vision problems, like myself, my aunt, almost everybody. We started out with a simple idea of why not just fix the eye, and then we just decided to remove the whole eye together.
That would allow people who are vision impaired to be able to have a camera implanted in one of their eyes and attached to the optical nerve that would allow them to see, and obviously to be able maybe to have eyesight that was even better than you'd be born with because of the capacity that you'd have for the miniaturization of the camera.
The other one was a student interested in hybrid automobiles.
What we want to do is we want to take the wind from air resistance when you're riding a car, and when it passes your grill, it's going to go into this cooling fan. And once the cooling fan begins to rotate, we're going to hook that up to a motor. And what the motor does is produce electricity. This electricity is then stored into batteries for further available use into an actual electric motor.
These are, we think, creative and clever ideas that the students developed.
So the renters receive a nice fat check of $1,000, but then they also, what we think is the most valuable part, is they get to meet with the Technology Leadership Council in an incubator type program that allows them to hone their ideas.
Provide them mentorship on how to develop their product idea and also get it to market if that's what they desire to.
It really helps these young people learn how to think, learn how to develop a business plan, learn how to be able to communicate their ideas to others, and that'll be something that'll help them in life regardless of what they do.
With the money, I'm hopefully going to invest it back into the project and use it to, buy parts, make prototypes, and whatever I need to get the project moving.
Give me a starting point to really launch my career.
Now we're going to open it up to also all levels of high school as well as colleges this coming year.
But the idea is that everybody that we can come in contact in those schools that is interested in our program has an opportunity to apply for the program.
Then we're opening it up to small businesses in Irving. This is for businesses. There's 1,200 small businesses in Irving, and we're going to allow them to come in, demonstrate their products and services, and then give them the same approach we were going to take, open it up to an incubator program for the top 2 small businesses in Irving.
So it's just going to get bigger and better, we think.
It's really beneficial. You shouldn't miss this opportunity. It's a great experience for you.
That's how America's going to stay at the top. We've got to really focus on being innovators. That all comes from technology nowadays.
The Technology Leadership Council also hosts educational programs for all business people. We were at this luncheon at the Sheraton Grand DFW Airport where Dr. Scott Connard talked about managing healthcare through technology, including a look into the future. He told the crowd that the country needs to get healthcare costs under control. Irving companies Wave 2 and Revelation MD are among those developing software that could make a difference. Connard says the technology will help doctors be more proactive in managing patient care. The 2012 class of Leadership Irving-Las Colinas is just getting started, and no doubt members will be getting some guidance from the class of 2011 that wrapped up a successful year. With us now are 2 members, Steve Candler from Flowserve and Tawnia Wise from the Irving Healthcare Foundation. Thank you both for being here. Steve, let's start with you, the basics. What is Leadership Irving?
Jolene, Leadership Irving is an opportunity to get together with peers in the community. It's a program that starts in the fall and runs through the spring, where we get together once a month and get kind of a behind-the-scenes view of Irving and what's going on, and meeting a lot of the people in the community. It's a great opportunity to network and learn more about what's going on.
So the networking part of it, but also the learning, as you just mentioned. And Tawnia, tell us some of the classes that you went through being part of it.
Absolutely. We had one of our days was focused on nonprofits in Irving, so we got to tour several of the nonprofit locations, which is really interesting. We had an education day, a government day, a leadership day. Really, it was very enlightening about business, education, all of what Irving has to offer.
Seems like all the things that you don't even realize are out there sometimes and don't know what you don't know about them. Steve, what did you find most valuable?
There were a lot of different things that were enjoyable about it. I think in particular it was working with peers in different settings, from different backgrounds, different industries, nonprofits as well as the local schools, and also other business professionals. It was that whole experience was very enjoyable.
And Tawnia, tell us about the playground project that you were a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually, as a class, decided that we wanted to do something really big this year, and we really wanted to kind of make our mark and put our name on something substantial. So we selected a pretty big goal, and it was to really help make the playground at our children's house at Irving more wheelchair accessible. So it was ADA compliant, but it wasn't necessarily wheelchair friendly and friendly for kids that have limited abilities in mobility. So our children's house focuses on working with children that have special medical needs. So they needed a playground that was going to be friendly for those children. So we actually raised over $42,000, and we redid the surface of the playground. So we took out wood chips and put in kind of a more softer material. We did some ground level activity panels so kids can wheelchair up to them. We did a ground level water play table where kids can wheelchair up to it, and then we also did another infant play space that was also ground level. So it was a major project, 2 days of volunteers hours and over 55 volunteers.
Long days, I imagine.
Yeah, but it was a major accomplishment, and I think we're really proud of ourselves because it was a huge effort, and there were times when we thought that we had kind of bitten off more than we could chew, but at the end of the day we just kept moving forward, and it was really exciting to see what we accomplished as a team, and really to prove what a team of dedicated individuals can do.
And even though they probably have no idea where it came from, some very happy children who are taking advantage of it. Steve, what would you tell someone who's not gone through the program about the importance of it?
Well, I think the couple things that stood out for me was the whole leadership experience and working with your peers and learning more about yourself and also others. But it was an opportunity to really do something different. Step out of your normal role and give back to the community. I mean, the event at our children's house was amazing. To see the kids actually out playing on the surface is a wonderful experience. And I just encourage people to step in and give it your all and really enjoy it.
And Tawnia, what do you take from the experience back to work with you?
Great question. Well, I actually did the program because I'm a fundraiser and I'm new to Irving, and so just to kind of get to know Irving and leaders in Irving. But I think too, I take back friendships, and that's to me the most important thing. And just, I really enjoyed the people that I got to know, and we're real excited about being able to have those relationships.
And who knows where they'll go from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you both being here. Appreciate it very much. Of course, you can learn more about Leadership Irving-Las Colinas and other chamber programs by visiting irvingchamber.com. Thank you for joining us for this edition of InVision Irving. We'll see you next time.